Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Low Budgets, the first installment since Night of Destruction #1. I think your front bumper has a problem.
A little over 2 months before the next Night of Destruction. We only have 9 cars to get ready.
One of the events we know is going to be coming up is we're going back to it, a 2-person enduro. Well, Tommy and I only really have 2 cars that are capable of doing the 2-person enduro.
You want to see what it takes to win a trailer race?
Holy cow.
Adam Ditto has been trying to kill this truck for 2 events, and then on the 3rd one, he finally was able to do it. It actually ran in the chain race. It was the back of Dale's team. Somehow managed to roll over after the event.
How?
My fault. I hit 1 bounce, and that bounce completely teetered the car on its side and just did a really lazy roll onto its roof.
People may notice behind me.
Yeah, there's a weird backdrop.
Yeah.
To this place.
And you were just as surprised as I was.
Holy cow, folks. The next trailer race.
This is like the biggest trailer I've ever seen.
I think this is the biggest trailer to ever be pulled at Irwindale. Oh, it's locked. Someone actually thought to lock this thing, unless there's someone living in it. Besides losing a tire or wheel in the last trailer race, we knew that the wheel was going to be in trouble. It's the same wheel that was bent. You can see the wheel is dished outwards, so you can see where it kind of took a beating on the wheel. Yep. Finally, the lug nuts just fell off. When it came off, I lost my drum. It rolled on by. I threw it in my car. The studs look good. So this thing is the drum, outer drum, and the wheel away from rolling again. Biggest issue is the fact that this car does not run worth a shit. Something going on under the hood. Carburetor issues could be. We got it to run, and that's about it. It runs, it just doesn't drive.
Did you get away with
I
that?
have all 3 tires aired up, but 1 missing. Always works that way with me. This car did a hell of a job out there. Tore off the right front fender. Look at that thing, is wrapped up around the wheel.
Yeah,
so that fender is officially done. You'll never see that fender on this car ever again.
When I saw that after the race, I was like, when did that happen? I think it melted.
Yeah, it warped.
First off, I had no steering for like probably the last 5 laps of that race.
And that's purely because of all the stuff that was under your front end.
Exactly. I tried to put it in reverse and it just revved. Put it in drive again, revved, and I'm like, that's weird. Well, it turns out I was putting transmission fluid all over the place.
All over the place. The whole track was littered in transmission fluid, and what happened was one of the things that you ran over split apart the transmission line under the transmission. So that's a roundup on the trailer cars, and since I'm sitting next to it, my skid plate car. Drove back fine. Biggest issue that we're having with most of the cars of this size, there was my fix. Yep. And for the record, it worked. Yep. It went up to here, and each time I'm like, ooh. This car has a very big issue. This car never presented itself to have a security system actually working in this car until Night of Destruction #1. Horn was going crazy. This thing would just not start whatsoever. There's a ignition disable mode that somehow got tripped, and I finally realized that we have stolen this car. It took 2 years, but we've finally...
So it worked. It's a success.
This car is ready to go again, and the next time you'll see it is in the 2-person enduro.
I'll probably have my woman. She did such a good job. If I could take her or talk her into riding with me.
You talked about your woman ran with you in the last event.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever get Panama Matt to ride with me again.
Why not?
I don't know. We tried to take his head off.
You'll notice that this tire is kind of facing a different direction than this tire. Sarah took a pretty good shot to a tractor tire. Honestly, I have to give Sarah credit. Not once was she ready to give up. She was foot to the floor. Let's go.
She was along for the ride. This car was sparking a hell of a lot in the chain race in the rear of the car because this wheel wasn't even on. And don't mind the tire that's fallen off of this thing. 1 lug nut held on to that wheel for that chain race. There was probably 2 on here, but the second one broke. Sarah might end up being in the enduro, hopefully. I know that'll be a lot of fun. But one guy we're probably gonna have to do a lot of convincing to get back in the car. Panama Matt. His car is right behind us, right here. This beautiful yellow machine ran into a tractor tire. Can you tell?
Yes. This thing went straight into a tractor tire.
Look how much that thing pushed in. So great that we don't have to worry about a radiator though.
Yeah.
Like what's great is we don't ever have to worry about this car running again. I never thought this car would have the power that it did. This car ran a great 2-lap race, I think, until we tried to kill Matt. But this, I mean, we drove it off, it didn't have a leak. This car ran a very short enduro race because the hood flew open, stuck with me.
Yeah, let's look at the hood. Is it still kind of hanging?
No, it actually was put back by the fire crew and then I parked. But if I wanted to do an oil change real quick, I could do it like this.
This car right here had its excitement, and I think just about died as I pulled it into the pit. So this was the car that I pulled Sarah around in, and yeah, as I put it in park, it was never gonna drive again, according to it, but Tom has been able to drive it around. What are you gonna do?
Run the timer.
Okay.
What are we up to, 40 seconds now? This car was driven by Panama Matt. Now what you see there is probably another broken tire rod. Come and join me, Jeffrey.
Okay.
Or at least it's an extremely bent one. Oh boy, did you hit a deer in this race?
I think I hit an owl the size of the Eagles in Lord of the Rings. I mean, look at this. This thing is bowed in. I'm lucky that it didn't just fully crash on me.
That used to be a good car cover.
At what point is this a good car
It still is. We were walking through the pit area, made it over to LA Racing Shop, ran into JD Partridge, the owner of this red and black number 27 car. And this car's been sitting here for a long, long time. And in fact, you can see all the who knows what's growing in it. And we were wondering, man, when are you ever gonna race this thing again? His response was, never again. You guys can have the car. But this car, quite possibly, is the next car for us to do something stupid with.
I just love that this is still here.
Yeah, that's more of a, this is more of a decorative piece of the Speedway.
I love how there's gonna come a day where we're actually gonna try and get that thing to run.
So we've acquired 2 cars. Whether or not it runs, it's a good spare car for my 2 Toyota Camrys just like this one.
You're gonna make me dive into this thing? With all of its... Oh man. There's spiders everywhere, man.
Like a wrench?
I'm not gonna do shit.
Oh.
Tommy, it's a forest. Why did we shut that like we did?
Because we did.
Look at that. There. Spiders everywhere. Don't do it. Think of the children. Ah!
There he is.
Ah! Ah!
Team low budget, always good at improvising.
So we're not expecting really anything right now.
No, from what we heard, this thing doesn't run. Motherfucker.
So I figured out the problem with this car.
The starter doesn't work because the starter fuse is not starting the car.
We're missing something.
Right now, it should be sparking like crazy. Like I should be melted by now.
There's probably a dry battery and everything. Like in The Walking Dead. I'm expecting this thing to start up and...
Probably not the best thing to have a car that's never driven in a year go like 3,000 RPM.
Full throttle.
If we ever need a backup car,
I think that's about a wrap.
absolutely. Well, we found the stuff that we have to work on, and we found one more. See you next time.
Good night, everybody.